It is 7 o'clock, and today is Monday, March 27th, 2023, and I'd like to convene this regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Education. First, we would like to start off with a moment of silence in remembrance of Mr. Angelo D. Simone and Catherine Roberts. Angelo D. Simone, Sr., loving husband, father, grandfather, brother, and uncle. Mr. Angelo D. Simone, Sr., 74, of Watertown and crossing guard at Polk School, was born in Cerrito, Sanita, Benevento, Italy on December 3, 1948, son of the late Antonio and Filomena D. Simone. He came to Waterbury from Italy in 1956. He was co-owner of Danbury Ambulance Service, Nelson Ambulance, Westchester Ambulance, and D. Simone Limousine Service, retiring in 2016. He enjoyed gardening, listening to music, playing the accordion, traveling to Naples, Florida, where he would attend spring training events, and most importantly, spending time with his family, especially his grandchildren. He was an avid New York Yankee fan. He took great pleasure working as a crossing guard for the town of Watertown at Polk School. We will miss him.
Catherine Nicole Curry Roberts. Catherine, also known as Nicole, was born on August 30th, 1977, to the late James William Curry, Sr., and Diana Catherine Curry. Catherine was a graduate of Bay State College and the University of Connecticut. Catherine worked for Abbott Terrace Daycare Center for approximately 20 years as an early childhood development instructor. Determined to continue her education, Catherine enrolled in the University of Connecticut and for the last 3 years has been employed by Aspire Living and Learning as a behavior therapist. Catherine's smile lit up a room. To know her was to love her. Catherine loved to dance and was a big sports fan. Her favorite pastime was to bake her sweet potato pies. Catherine was a devoted mother, daughter, sister, and friend. She will be missed.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Davidson?
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Ms. Phelan?
Here.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Here.
Ms. Palumbo?
Here.
Ms. Faressa?
Here.
Ms. Hosking?
Here.
Mr. Malaguti?
Here.
Ms. Lawton?
Here.
Ms. Hillian?
Here.
Ms. Jones? Here.
Board members should have received their packets containing the meeting minutes of the Board of Education meeting dated March 13th, 2023, and have had a chance to review. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes dated March 13th, 2023?
Yes, Madam Chair. I make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting on March 13th, 2023.
Do I have a second?
Yes, I second that motion.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Moving on to agenda item F, recognition of Judson students.
All right, and at this time, actually, if I could call up Ms. Washburn, who's sitting in the audience this evening, we will have her hand out some of the certificates to our students. And I'll just say a few words and then I'll turn it back over to you, Ms. Washburn. During the month of February, Judson School participated in its annual Mathathon fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Judson students, teachers, and staff raised an incredible $14,651. Judson students created online fundraising pages and also got sponsored to solve math problems. Judson teachers and staff participated in a month-long dress down by making donations to St. Jude, and Judson students purchased small toys, trinkets, and fidgets, with all of the proceeds going to St. Jude as well. The Board of Education would like to congratulate and thank the participants of this event.
Amy Michaelis.
be great, thank you. And would you like us to share how much they fundraise?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, so Amy and Bryn Michaelis, who's about to come up, and also Declan Mangione, altogether $1,800.
So, Bryn Michaelis. Just a side note, Bryn is a former Judson student, so it was really, really special that she came back to help us. Declan Mangione. Brody Cam. And Hunter Cam.
And Brody and Hunter raised $1,332 combined.
Yassine Vinca.
And Yassine raised $745.
Cora Benedict.
And Cora raised $650.
Madison Jankowski.
And $510.
Elena Correa.
$480.
Peyton Storino.
$430.
Yoni Arho.
At $270.
And there are two students who could not make it tonight. Jose Masonet
Who earned $1,000.
and Alexandria Giannakopoulos.
$425. Congratulations.
Well done.
Justin, friends, why don't you take 3 steps forward? 1, 2, 3, very good. I'll leave those up here. I guess I'll go. All right, we're gonna keep all our eyes on me, so we're gonna take a picture, then I'm gonna get you to your parents. Yes. All right. All my little ducks and friends are gonna squish in, squish in, squish in. Take up space, no space. Very good. Excellent. Oh, Mr. Martin is gonna be all right. Let's make sure I can see everybody. And I can, very good. All right. So everybody can look here first. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Smile, everyone. Big smiles. Yay. All right, now you're going to look to your left, or to your right, rather. At your parents over here. And now to your left, the parents over here. Who are the Excellent. Thank you. This is not my bag.
Do I have that?
Thank you for coming.
So cute.
We did take a picture.
Okay, I couldn't see, all right. Okay. Moving on, recognition of board members, recognition and award for Corporal Jeffrey DeCina.
So we are very fittingly going to... We are actually going to have retired Chief Gavalis read a little statement about Corporal DeCina. But before he begins, we see right in the back there that we have a whole crew here to support Corporal DeCina tonight. So very much so and fitting, so.
Watertown Police Corporal Jeffrey DeCina has served the Watertown Police Department for over 21 years. A Watertown High School graduate, Corporal DeCina has served the Watertown High School community as the school resource officer for the past 6 years. Corporal DeCina has been an essential component of the high school community during this time. He prides his work in building and fostering relationships with students and staff. He is often the person the students feel most comfortable around and who they seek out first when they need to speak with someone. Corporal DeCina goes above and beyond the school resource officer job and works tirelessly to ensure that all students and staff are safe. The Watertown High School community wishes Corporal DeCina the best of luck in the future. You will be missed.
Very much so. And tonight, we present you with this plaque for your ongoing service. Can we take a picture of you and your family, and the whole department can come on up here?
Thank you guys.
Please come
Thank
on
you,
up,
sir, for
everybody.
your
It's been a
service.
blessing to have, support of the Board of Ed all these years, the administration, and my administration. This is, we do it the right way here, and I hope we kind of set the precedent and the tone for others to kind of rival and try to do, because I know we have a great relationship. I hope we can continue on with that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Come on up, everybody. Come on up. Right up to the front.
We need her to organize this again.
Oh, Nicole, I mean, you should get in there too. Yeah, Nicole, I mean, you're in this just as much as Justice.
Board members, you do need to.
Yep.
Well, take one of them. Yeah, just them. Yeah, take one of just them.
So we can celebrate.
Yeah, after they take this picture, yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Very good. If you take 3 steps forward, please.
I didn't catch that. No, it's just, we know where we are.
My friends. Come on now. We got switches. There we go. 1, 2, 3, all eyes on me. Okay, smile, for goodness sake. Okay, one more, I'm gonna take Nicole's phone.
We got to know cocktail smile.
I was just. I
told them I wanted to.
Jeff, I've seen you laugh. I've made you laugh. All right, very good. Thank you for
Right, and just thank you, as you guys are getting ready, thank you to Chief Berniger, and thank you for Deputy Dominguez, and our new SRO, Mr. Buser, Officer Buser, and to Lieutenant Gavalis for being here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone. everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to recognition of board members for Board of Education Recognition Month.
Okay, so this is one more very important recognition. The title of my little blurb tonight is School Boards Make a Difference. And school board members are not just ordinary people, although we are ordinary people, who have an extraordinary dedication to our public schools. School board members routinely make sacrifices in their own personal lives to be a part of a greater cause and for the betterment of their local community. Too often, we forget about the important role school board members play in assuring local control over our public schools. Control that is in the hands of people we know, people who are our neighbors. And too often we forget that in the tradition of representative decision-making, school board members are our connection to governance of our local public schools and legislature. Too often, the efforts of school board members go unrecognized and unrewarded. Arnold Glazo may have said it best when he said, "A good leader takes a little more than his share of the blame and a little less than his share of the credit." This is often too true for a Board of Education and the leaders of a district, and so this is an opportunity, this month of March, also known as Board of Ed Appreciation Month in Connecticut, to recognize how school board members work together to provide leadership for our schools. Our school board is accountable to the public. It's responsible for assuring the public that resources allocated to the Watertown Public Schools is providing a good return on our investment. And boards of education connect the will of the community to the education of its children. And the school board is a strong advocate for public schools and is responsible for communicating the needs of the school district to the public and the public's expectations to the district. So to our board members, in the words of Mr. Warren Buffett, I do hope you know that someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Truly. So today, you have a book in front of you whose title I thought was very fun. It says, "Get It Done," after crossing out forget, quit, or undone, all words that don't belong in our vocabulary here in the town of Watertown. And so we appreciate you, and we thank you for all of your volunteer service. And we also thank you, Mr. Ross, as well as Ms. Davidson, for all the hours that you put into attending our meetings as well, as a representative of our community. So thank you, and congratulations to all of you. Oh, I have certificate as well, but I'll hand those out later tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, report from Student Council Representative Karina DeRose.
So there is no report from John Trumbull, so I will just start at Polk. So their fun run event was a fantastic success. Last Monday, the Polk School students and staff joined together to celebrate the culmination of the 2-week event. They were able to hold the run outdoors, and students had a blast walking, running, and dancing their way around the track. Having met their goals, students enjoyed a special pajama day on Friday and are looking forward to a surprise reward that is coming up. They surpassed the fundraising goal and raised over $12,500, which will directly impact the students, and they are so excited to be able to continue enhancing their playground. Beginning on March 30th and running through April 6th, all of the students will take the iReady Spring Diagnostic for both English, Language Arts, and Math. The diagnostic assessment, given 3 times this year, helps monitor the students' progress towards mastering grade level end-of-year expectations. At Judson, on March 16th, they had their sheer delight in traveling to the high school to see a performance of Beauty and the Beast. And they just wrapped up their second round of academies last week, and they are looking forward to one last round of academies for the 22-23 school year. The students will bring home the catalog to talk about their interests with their families, but will choose their academy in school. The Judson staff had the opportunity to put the ALICE training into practice during a series of drills with Officer Gorman and Officer Andy. While this can be an emotional and even scary experience, they all left with a sense of empowerment and safety. Images Studio will be at Judson on April 4th for spring photos. Unlike the fall pictures, only students who wish to have their picture taken will get it done in the spring. And their PTO is partnered with Quinn and Gray Art Studios to provide students with a fun art activity, all while raising funds for activities at Judson. Orders are due by March 24th and will be delivered at school the week of April 3rd. And the PTO is planning their fun run for May 1st, so keep your eyes open for more information soon. At Swift, on March 15th, Swift students and staff were treated to a live musical performance by a local group called Boogie Chillin'. These performers raise awareness and appreciation for American root music and provide an understanding as to how this music evolved based on American history and culture. They also had a great time with the 8th grade students when they attended a shortened performance of Beauty and the Beast at the high school last Friday. It was wonderful to see the former students on stage as well as in the pit, backstage, and with the crew. Afterwards, the students learned ways that they too could get involved with theater at the high school. Lastly, finishing with the high school. Last Thursday, March 23rd, grade 11 students took part in the SAT school day. 96% of the students participated in the SAT, and those who did not take the test will have a makeup day in April after spring break. Students in grades 9, 10, and 12 used the day as a college career visit and/or community service opportunity. The high school teachers have made their course recommendations for students for the 23-24 school year. During WIN on Friday, March 24th, students were informed on how to select their courses for next school year. Grades 9 through 11 students will have until April 6th to finish their course requests. Grade 8 students are also engaging in the scheduling process with their own counselor. Grade 8 teachers are making their recommendations, and students will be selecting their courses by April 16th.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. Moving on, superintendent's recommendations and report.
No report for tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Public participation. In accordance with policy number 9050, public participants must state their name and address for the record and limit statements to 3 minutes. The board encourages speakers not to express defamatory comments about Watertown Board of Education personnel or any other persons associated with Watertown Public Schools system. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak? Seeing none, moving on, items of discussion.
All right, so the first one is just an update on our community surveys that were sent out and focus groups for the Watertown High School Principal Profile creation. So you can see in your handout there that we had 3 focus groups from a which were multi-stakeholder groups. We had a good turnout in terms of where you want focus groups to be. So you don't ever want really gigantic focus groups. You want to have anywhere in the range of 8 to 10 people in a group. We held them through the month of March. We also sent out a survey. We didn't get as much response in the survey as we were hoping, but we did get some. And then a number of emails that were sent to me just kind of sharing their thoughts. And our district always knows that there's an open line to my office to just share some of their insights. So you can see that Focus Group 1 was on March 7th. There were about 12 people in that group. Focus Group 2 was on March 13th, a smaller group of 5. Focus Group 3 was on the same evening, a little bit bigger with 10. The district-wide survey, again, didn't yield as much as we had hoped, so less than 20 at 15, and then emails to the superintendent around 12. In addition, there have just been conversations in general with different groups around the district when there have been meetings around really what that profile is, so all of that is taken into consideration. All the data that's collected is grouped and bundled and then put into themes. And just so you have record what the questions were, they're outlined here. And the survey is actually still open on the site just till the end of this week. And the 5 themes that really came out from all of the insights that were shared with us were around these 5 areas. There were a couple of things that people were just looking for in terms of characteristics in an individual, and then other ones where there was a thread around a larger kind of umbrella theme. So the first one was around the candidate characteristic or look for. Someone who is committed and has longevity to the school and the community, somebody who has high energy and flexible thinking, somebody who's collaborative in nature around thinking, but also able to hold firm lines with clear expectations. That was very evident in the feedback. There seemed to be a yearning for trying to keep those firm lines. A leader also looking to make informed and needed changes right away, but also respecting those longstanding traditions, so not just throwing everything out with, the bathwater. A second large theme was around student achievement. A lot of people talked about the expansion of programmatic choice and student engagement in academics. That came up time and time again. Also around student retention and program choice. We've talked a little bit about kind of that flight in that 8th to 9th year, and so that also came up in our focus groups. And then again, that firm balance between accountability measures, both quantitative and qualitative. The third theme was again around a characteristic, and that was again the balance between a firm leader and a friend, and this was often when people were talking about student discipline. And so that cropped up a few times actually. Also, people were looking for somebody with a deep understanding of how to engage alternative experiences for students and special education students collaboratively across departments, meaning kind of interdisciplinary ways to think of keeping our students in an inclusive kind of situation. Culture and climate was also a big nugget. That's where a lot of people were talking about partnerships with existing faculty and staff, making sure that there was a sense of belonging in the student body for students of all backgrounds. Again, around that inclusivity and that experience for all walks of life. And then a big one around kind of extracurriculars and social engagement for our students there, also in opportunities for athletics. And then the last one, the word flagship came up a lot in the focus groups in the survey around making the Watertown High School that really big flagship part of the district. And so looking for a candidate who is creative and optimizes existing structures, somebody who's also forward-thinking and has long-term planning for expansion of opportunities, and then just somebody with inspiration and excitement for all stakeholders to grab a hold of. So again, sometimes people don't use the exact words, but they say sentences that are around the same theme, and these are the top 5 that really bucket it out. So the interviews have been going well, and I think we're very lucky to have a good, strong pool of candidates, and we're able to interview a number of people. And so we have another round this evening with our Board of Education, and it will be very soon that we hopefully will be able to appoint somebody. Okay, that's the profile.
Okay, 2022-2023 district calendar revision due to inclement weather, last day of school, graduation.
Okay, so we had another snow day. And because of the snow day, that would make the last day of school for our high school now Friday, June 16th, and the last day of school for Swift and Polk School Tuesday, June 20th. Now again, the reason for the 2 different end dates was because we had that school closure for Polk and Swift on those separate days, and we are legally bound to report those 180 days. What I would like to offer up to the Board of Education tonight is to have a discussion around our 181st day. So, based on statute, we are required to report 180 days of school. Our calendar is 1 day extra, and so we do not have to ask the state of Connecticut for alleviation from that extra day. So it would be a board decision if you decided to drop that 181st day to move our calendar back to having the high school finishing on the 15th and Swift and Polk ending on the Friday, the 16th. Graduations would still hold strong on the 15th, afternoon for Swift, evening for the high school, rain date for both schools on the following day. So that's just a discussion. You don't have to drop the 181st day, but what it would do logistically is just allow for those schools not necessarily have to come back for that kind of the one dangling day on the Tuesday. So I open that up to you. And in your packet, you do have a letter from the commissioner. The 3rd paragraph is the most important, and so I'll read it out loud into the record. It is important to remember that districts that originally included more than 180 school days in their annual school calendar are not required to make up any days that are in excess of the statutorily mandated 180 school days. Therefore, such districts are not required to seek or to obtain approval from the State Board of Education to shorten or otherwise modify the school calendar so long as school is in session on at least 180 days. Vice versa, I've also had many questions about whether or not Polk and Swift have to go for that additional day. The answer, unfortunately, is yes, because statutorily we have to make up the 180 days. So either way, it's still 3 schools on one day, 2 schools on the other day. All right, so I open that up to you.
Thoughts?
Drop the day.
Yeah, exactly. We're all like,
I'd
drop
say
it.
Okay.
That was easy.
So that we're ending the 15th and the 16th.
The 16th.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Exactly.
Great.
Does anyone have any reservations about dropping that 181st day? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay.
All right,
Okay.
very
Need a
good.
motion, right?
Yes, at the end.
At the end.
Yep, at the end, we'll put in all
I
the
think it's
actions.
much easier for parents who've already been planning there, and
Yeah.
because you have that other holiday, it just makes it much more challenging, so definitely.
Yeah, student engagement would be poor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that Tuesday would look like.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So the next discussion, and I want to just give a huge thank you, again, Board of Education Appreciation Month is only one token of it, but I think last week I pulled out every single board member about every single day of the week. So thank you for the commitment that you've had to all the meetings that take place. So on Wednesday, many of you were there to attend the Capital Improvement Projects Committee meeting. You received the same document tonight as you did on that Wednesday that the committee received, which was basically an outline of the meetings that our Board of Education have had since 2018 that talk about capital improvement. The reason the timeline is there, capital improvement projects are big-ticket items. These are ticket items that we can't fold into our budget, and so conversations start well in advance before we can even get to a point where we can execute on these projects. So again, as you know, the referendum did passed in November for $12,861,000. And so the next page after the timeline just shows exactly what projects are included there. You can see the Watertown High School roof replacement, the Watertown High School track turf, and the Swift turf, the John Trumbull low slope roof, the John Trumbull shingled roof. There's also a Swift roof repair in there, not a full replacement, but a repair. We have the Watertown High School security camera replacements in there, the John Trumbull flooring, John Trumbull boiler plant, Judson boilers, and the isolators as well. The portions that are reimbursable by the Department of Administrative Service are the roofs, and so you can see that our rates are between 50 and 60%. We are timing it so that we maximize on the reimbursement. There is a whole process for going for reimbursement, and things like the track and the turf and other items like the cameras and the flooring are not reimbursable through DAS, so those are straight to full cost for the town. The grayed out portions below that talk specific about HVAC have been added in because this actually came out, this opportunity came out from the White House Infrastructure Grant after we had already been well down the road with our capital improvement. So we still have not heard yet as to whether or not we've been accepted to the program for the HVAC grant, but basically, we put in for each of the schools listed there to try to upgrade the air quality in HVAC that we have in place. If we get accepted, then we will need to take a look at how our reimbursements are timed so that we can keep circling our projects and keep moving forward. Some people were under the impression that we were going to strike 12.8 million, boom, in one shot, all projects go at the same time. Unfortunately, we don't have the human power or the manpower or whatever we may call it to be able to do that. So we are chunking what we can do, which is actually also helpful to the town as well, because then they don't have to bond for such a large amount of money in one shot. They can couple their projects as well as our projects together and then keep going as the debt service is paid down. So one of the main things that happened in our meeting on Wednesday was that the committee did agree to put our financial commitment letter together so that we can talk with our vendors for the track and turf and officially get it going. The commitment letter allows us to get in queue now officially. There's other schools obviously being done, and so we will now be in line so that we can get this going for that summertime. So we're excited about that. And then the last page is just a sample of the time frame and the tasks that need to be completed for the Department of Administrative Services. You can see that I only checked off the first box because that's the only one we have completed, because the rest of the boxes require somebody with fairly deep knowledge on how to navigate that DAS process. So we will eventually put out for proposals to look for people who are whose livelihood is navigating this grant system, because the applications are huge and very specific, and so we want to be very clear what we list as eligible and ineligible costs, so again, we maximize that reimbursement. So once those proposals are ready, we will bring that to the Board of Education and to the Public Buildings Committee for approval before we move forward. Thank you, and thank you again for being there that evening. So we're on to D, which is just an update on post-university. As you know, as I mentioned, we will have another meeting just to kind of put the ribbon on all of this. We're still moving through the details, so again, you'll see on your papers that this is draft form. The top page here is just a very simple kind of recruitment flyer to see if there are any educators within our Watertown High School who might be interested in becoming an adjunct instructor at Post. If that was the case, you can see what is needed: a master's degree in a related field of education, experience in the field in which they are specific to potentially teaching if they wanted to, an updated resume, an interview with the director at Post. And in return, they would receive official designation as a post-university adjunct. They would have access to the fully developed syllabus for their course. They would get 2 weeks of training on Blackboard, and also they would even have opportunities to be an adjunct in other courses on site at Post beyond just the high school academy. So it's a wonderful opportunity for educators existing in our district who might be interested. Behind there, you have, again, draft only, some FAQs just around what the Post Academy is. It just shares that the Paralegal Studies certificate takes 10 courses of completion, and the associate's degree in a variety of disciplines takes 20 courses of completion. Each course in the asynchronous model taking about 8 weeks to complete, and each week being approximately 15 hours of dedicated time to complete that work. And again, each course completed would earn a full elective credit, and then also 3 university credits from Post. So when you look at the very, very back page, you'll see a sample schedule of a student who might be interested in taking the certificate program and how they can utilize their elective courses to satisfy the courses for Post and then duly earn that certificate and the high school graduation requirement for a diploma. We haven't quite gotten to the associate's degree as of yet. That is something that will go to all of the district department leaders at the high school, as well as to the curriculum committee, so that we can put syllabi side by side and vet the similarities, so that if we can offer dual credit, we do. If we can't, then we can use the curriculum committee as a foundation to discuss how we can navigate doing it. End goal-wise, we know we want to be able to offer that associate's degree, but in that first year, even if students get started in those first 2 courses, they are the same courses that they would need to complete anyhow for the associates, so they would be well on their way to at least the right step. So again, you'll have another update at our next meeting, and also just in the page prior to that, we are looking at how students can become eligible for the high school academy here. We are looking for entering 8th graders, as well as our students who are already in high school. We are looking at a May 1st application timeline to open that up, June 1st notice of acceptance into the program, July 1 letters of commitment due, and then anybody who's on a wait list, not on the first round, would get notification by July, the end of July. So we're very excited. It's not only the 8th graders that we're trying to recruit, but again, it's open to everybody at the high school. So we're very excited to get this started.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. So another update on the way.
Okay.
That's it for me. Thank you.
Communications, Ms. Faressa.
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Okay. Committee reports, curriculum and instruction, Ms. Hosking.
No report at this time.
Policy and labor, Mr. Malaguti.
No update at this time.
Budget and finance, Mr. Cavallis.
Yes, Madam Chair. We're in the middle of our budget season. Most departments' heads have already presented their budget requests to the town council. The town manager will review those requests and then make appropriate recommendations to the council. However, he does not review, nor does he have any input in the superintendent's proposed budget. Dr. V presented her budget to the members of the town council last Tuesday. She answered all their questions and concerns. Any decision regarding our budget now rests in the hands of the council. We need to keep an open dialogue with them as we move forward. Some very tough decisions are going to have to be made. We want to be sure, if reductions are considered, that the council understands how they will affect Watertown Public Schools. We should also take every opportunity to educate the public on the importance of the proposed budget and how it will affect the services we provide our students moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Facilities, Mr. Cavallis.
As Dr. V said, last Wednesday night, we had our first meeting with the Public Buildings Committee regarding the approval of bonding issue for our capital improvement projects. We brought them up to date and requested a letter of commitment with them, from them, for the replacement of the Watertown High School track and turf, as well as the turf at Swift Middle School. They provided us with that commitment letter. This was necessary so the vendor of choice can put us on the list for projects to be completed this summer. We shall be meeting with the committee at least twice each month as these projects move forward. We seem to be off to a good start.
Thank you. Governance and community engagement, myself. The Board of Education typically does not reply to social media posts. However, we feel that it is important to address something that has been a hot topic on social media. This past week was the start of a special holy tradition for our Watertown Public Schools families, faculty, and students who observe Ramadan. Throughout the year, we have many families from different cultures and backgrounds who celebrate special traditions like Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Christmas, and Easter for those of Jewish and Christian faiths, or perhaps a celebration of lights for those who take part in Diwali, and the list goes on. What is true in each of these instances is that the Watertown Public Schools welcomes and values all children and all families who reside in the Watertown community. As Dr. Villanueva has stated before in previous communications to the wider community, our schools value and embrace students with diverse backgrounds, beliefs, and perspectives. We also value the immense importance and individual values families hold for themselves and their children. We deeply respect each family's choice and decision on how they choose to raise their families and will always provide an educational experience for all children of the Watertown community. The Watertown Board of Education stands by treating all students with integrity, dignity, and respect, regardless of race, religion, color, national origin, ancestry, alienage, sex, sexual orientation, marital status, age, disability, pregnancy, gender identity or expression, veteran status, or any other characteristic protected by law. All of our students have the right to access opportunities and supports available throughout the district's educational programs. And this means in times of holy traditions, religious observances, or varying cultural holidays, we abide by the Connecticut state statute and our non-discrimination policy to provide reasonable accommodations to our faculty and students who request it. The legal landscape of Connecticut has been sensitive to the need to make requested accommodations for religious reasons unless such accommodations significantly interfere with the educational process, either for the requesting student or for other students. As we are all aware, there is a clear separation of church and state in public schooling. This means public schools do not engage in endorsing or promoting any one religion. This also means public schools do not engage in school-wide religious practices. Public schools do, however, follow the law and do not discriminate against anyone based on their faith or religion and will fulfill reasonable accommodation of student religious practices. For example, if a student is fasting for the month of Ramadan, we demonstrate kindness and offer consideration that the day may be a little different from what our students are used to and may keep a closer eye out for students who need support or assistance throughout the day. It also means that if our faculty and students need to be absent from school to observe a cultural holiday that is not on the regular school calendar, we offer reasonable accommodations. It also means when a student needs a safe space to step out for a moment to engage in a cultural or traditional moment of reflection, silence, or prayer, we can provide them with a private and safe space for a few moments so they can move on with their day. Reasonable accommodations are acts of kindness, acceptance, and awareness of those around us. The Watertown Public Schools is firmly committed to the acceptance of all students and hold ourselves to the ultimate expectation of standing steadfastly by all of our families with honor, decorum, and respect. Report from the board chair. As you heard earlier tonight, the month of March is Board of Education Member Appreciation Month. It was created to promote awareness and understanding of the important work performed by local school boards. Public schools form the foundation of our communities and our country. The 9 individuals before you volunteer their time to make informed decisions about the issues facing public schools while striving to be fair to our taxpayers. Contrary to popular belief, we are not paid. School board members do in fact volunteer to serve. Board of Education members give their time, energy, and counsel to Watertown Public Schools without pay. We take on the job of governing the district, making the best decisions we can for our students, with the full understanding that we will receive only satisfaction of our contributions. The volunteer efforts of the Board of Education have the ability for immense benefit to the community as well as the lives of our students individually. By serving this community in this important governance role, Board of Education members lay the foundation of the future. The Board of Education makes difficult decisions for the betterment of our students. Members vote on multi-million-dollar budgets, hire staff, review curriculum, and set policies, just to name a few of the decisions we make for Watertown Public Schools. These men and women before you who make the time to generously provide this important public service do so because we care. We care about the students' education. We care about the schools being the best they can be. We care about the next generation and the future of the community. Board of Education members work hard to guide the district in providing a quality education to all students. I just want to personally thank the board members for advocating on behalf of the collective interests of the community and making the difficult decisions that need to be made to ensure the success of the students of Watertown Public Schools. Okay, moving on to our action items. Consideration of the approval of Watertown Annual Healthy Food Certification Statement under Section 10-215F of the Connecticut General Statutes. Healthy food option. Pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes, Section 10-215F, the Watertown Public School District certifies that all food items offered for sale to students in the schools under its jurisdiction and not exempted from the Connecticut nutrition standards published by the Connecticut State Department of Education will comply with the Connecticut nutrition standards during the period of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. This certification shall include all food offered for sale to students separately from reimbursement meals at all times and from all sources, including but not limited to school stores, vending machines, school cafeterias, culinary programs, and any fundraising activities on school premises sponsored by the school or non-school organizations and groups. Do I have a motion for consideration of the approval of the Watertown Annual Healthy Food Certification Statement under Section 10-215F of Connecticut General Statutes?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the Watertown Annual Healthy Food Certification Statement under Section 10-215F of the Connecticut General Statutes.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Moving on to number 2, consideration of the approval of the Watertown Annual Food and Beverage Exemption Statement under Section 10-221Q of the Connecticut General Statutes. Food and beverage exemptions. The Watertown Public School District will allow the sale to students of food items that do not meet the Connecticut nutrition standards and beverages not listed in Section 10-221Q of the Connecticut General Statutes, provided that the following conditions are met. 1, the sale is in connection with an event occurring after the end of a regular school day or on the weekend. 2, the sale is at a location at the event. And 3, the food and beverage items are not sold from a vending machine or school store. An event is an occurrence that involves more than just a regularly scheduled practice, meeting, or extracurricular activity. For example, soccer games, school plays, and interscholastic debates are events, but soccer practices, play rehearsals, and debate team meetings are not. The regular school day is the period from midnight before to 30 minutes after the end of an official school day. Location means where the event is being held and must be the same place as the food and beverage sales. Do I have a motion for consideration of the approval of the Watertown Annual Food and Beverage Exemption Statement under Section 10-221Q of the Connecticut General Statutes?
Yes, Madam Chair. I make a motion to approve the Watertown Annual Food and Beverage Exemptions Statement under Section 10-221Q of the Connecticut General Statutes, CGS.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Consideration to approve of the revised 2022-2023 school calendar. Consideration of the approval to revise the 2022-2023 school year calendar due to inclement weather. It is recommended that the board approve of the revised 2022-2023 school calendar as presented for Watertown Public Schools. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Madam Chair. I make a motion to approve the revised 2022-2023 school calendar as presented for Watertown Public Schools.
Yes.
I might just suggest that we tag on to that last sentence, to include 180 days of school. And that would clarify it.
So, Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the revised 2022-2023 school calendar as presented for Watertown Public Schools with the understanding that it's 180 school days.
Do I have a second?
Yes, I second it.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Future agenda items and board member comments. Seeing none. Moving on to executive session. It is now 7:51. Do I have a motion to move into executive session?
Yes, Madam Chair. I make a motion to go into executive session to interview candidates for the Watertown High School principal position.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes.
Great. Ms. Phelan, if you wouldn't mind just sharing who you would like to invite into executive session with you.
I would like to invite into the executive session Dave Martin, Mr. Dave Martin,